Good evening, everybody. Thank you very much for joining in. This side, Rahul Magan here as the Chief Executive Officer of Treasury Consulting LLP. And this time we are going to cover a technical analysis on Deutsche Bank. As you very well understand that Deutsche is in a mess, and a lot of talks which has been happening about Deutsche, whether Deutsche would be able to sustain or not. What would happen to Deutsche Bank. Example, Deutsche would be able to pay the fine which has been imposed by the Department of Justice, which is approximately $14 billion, or the CEO of the Deutsche Bank, John Crane, would be able to negotiate this such bonds or not. So in that regards, we would be able to. We are covering this video, which would be doing the technical analysis of the Deutsche. In fact, the share price of the Deutsche. This video would let you know. This video would let you know about a lot of new things that is pertinent to the technical analysis, and at the same time we would be covering a new technical analysis tool this time, which is relative volatility index RVI. So we are not using relative strength index this time. We are using relative volatility index. Now, what do you mean by that is, if you look at the chart, then Deutsche is falling. There is no doubt that Deutsche is not falling. Effective. Let me make this chart for example. Let me make this chart for 5 years. Right. If you make this chart for 5 years, which is 2012 till 2016, then you would get to know that Deutsche is in a little mess, in the sense like Deutsche was highest here, which is before let us make this chart. One minute, let me make this chart for. Okay, let us go ahead with the 5 years chart. Yeah, let us go ahead with the all. Just 1 minute. Exactly, this is what we want. Okay, so now let us have the view here. You can carefully see that this is 2008 financial crisis. This is the 2008 financial crisis, and here Deutsche was approximately $110. The share price of the Deutsche in the New York Stock Exchange was 110. This is here the things are 110, 113, 114 roughly approximately. And from where Deutsche fell to by 2009, when the financial crisis not yet ended, Deutsche fell to almost 13 and 40, almost 21 and 22 share price. The reason is absolutely known to all, that in 2008 financial crisis, in fact, almost all Americans, Europeans, and all other banks that captured in that. And there is nothing known as theory of decoupling. It is bullshit that people are talking about theory of decoupling, that you can decouple yourself from the financial crisis. Like a lot of time people are saying that you can decouple yourself from the financial crisis. This is certainly not the way, right? But let us take the data of the last 5 years. So from this chart we got to know that the Deutsche attained its maximum example in 2007 time, when it was at roughly 135, and we all know the reason of the fact that at that moment regulators were sleeping. There was no action which was happening. Every bank was doing of its own risk management, and everything was on the paper. So there is nothing technical which was going on. Everything was decided by the bank itself. And we all know that your LIBOR scandal that happened in 2008, your interest rate scandal happened in 2008, your so-called electricity scandal happened in 2008, fixed income scandal happened in 2008. In fact, majority of the scandal happened in 2008. And before that, I still remember that, in fact, Warren Buffett also suggested one time that everything is going good, there is nothing to worry about. And Greenspan also suggested that everything going good, nothing to worry about. We all know that how effective. We all understood very well that how effective it is, and how effective it was. So now let's go to Deutsche Bank for a 5-year chart. Now if you go with this 5-year chart, then you will get to know that the Deutsche started falling. Actually, the fall of the Deutsche started in 2014. I hope you all recall that 2014 was the time when Anshu Jain, the then deputy CEO of Deutsche, and some other senior gentlemen, they both faced a lot of they both faced a lot of questions about the risk management policies of the Deutsche Bank. And at that moment, in fact, Anshu Jain was also I would say named in the mirror trading scandal, which was of $10 billion that happened. I was reading a story in the newspaper wherein I got to know that the mirror trading scandal is not a short-term story; it is a very long-term story. And Deutsche, who got caught by doing mirror trading of approximately 10 billion when they converted the Russian ruble into dollars using the offshore treasury center, which is predominantly London, right? And according to few reports, that Deutsche is not the only bank who did that. Majority of the American banks and European banks also did that, but unfortunately Deutsche got caught in that. So what had happened, this is the place when the mirror trading scandal happened, this is the place when the mortgage scandal happened, and this is the place when Anshu Jain was asked to go, and lot of criticism has happened over the Anshu Jain about the risk management policy of the Deutsche Bank. So what had happened, you can clearly see this is the point where Anshu Jain, Anshu Jain, resigned from Deutsche. And you can see that from here till here. So from 52 till 32, Deutsche declined immediately when Anshu Jain left, because sequentially you get to know that this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is wrong, this is not going good, and so on and so forth. From here, it never recovered, and Deutsche went down, and today Deutsche is trading at approximately $13.57 on New York Stock Exchange. The biggest point to see using this chart, and also we would like to see relative strength index in that, in that, is this that Deutsche is never be the is that Deutsche is never be Deutsche is all scheduled to be second Lehman, and believe me that Deutsche will also start another financial crisis. So what we do with this time, let us do an indicator, and here click on an indicators. One minute, here click. I think it is little not working right now, so let's go with the current scene. I think it is not working. So let's go ahead with the relative volatility index. And here we go. I did cancel this, and here I am again going to cancel this. So I will go with the full screen, and here we go. Now if you see the relative volatility index here, relative volatility index is as simple as you have relative strength index. But the only difference between relative strength index and the relative volatility index, that relative strength index talks about absolute numbers. Example, it takes an absolute difference between two numbers. On the other hand, relative volatility index will take the standard deviation of that. Now, relative volatility index is a much better than your so-called relative strength index. But again, as usual, there is no every technique would have certain permutation and combination, and this time the permutation combination is that the volatility which this relative volatility index is taking into consideration, this volatility is a standard volatility. Example, this is not a realized volatility, so it is not excluding any outliers in that. So if there is a difference, if the difference between two numbers are is generating a volatility, then he is just taking it, as simple as that. So this is how the volatility, this is how the relative volatility index play. But relative volatility index is in a much better position than the relative strength index because of the fact that it does not take absolute things into consideration, rather it takes the relative things also into consideration. Now if you carefully see this chart, the point is again same, it is 70 and 30. That if it is 70, then you are supposed to sell. If it is 30, then you are supposed to buy. But before going higher, let me summarize you two or three things here, and two or three things here. Like according to Bloomberg TV, there is a lot of talk according to a talk which has happened on the Bloomberg TV. This talk suggested that if the Deutsche would trade at approximately $9 per share, then it is a great to buy. I'm not sure how it is a great to buy because because the person who mentioned that, he also stated that, agree or disagree, but the German government would come and bail out that. And to an extent, I would agree with that. That German government need to save that one, else German government would gone. As simple as that. So if German government would come and bail out that, in that sense, $9 per share would be a saving point for $9 per share would be a saving point for. Would be a buy point for Deutsche. So if I look at this chart here, and let's reduce this chart to 1 year deliberately, and I would say reduce this chart to 1 year, and here if you look that currently your relative strength index is approximately 42 something. Now relative strength index relative volatility index, it clearly suggests that things might not turning up for Deutsche, and our call is also that we should not sell right now. I think the selling point of the Deutsche would be approximately $16, not right now. This should be the selling point of Deutsche. Like if you look at the 1 year chart, then you would get to know that if you look at the 1 year chart, then you will get to know this is not the selling point of Deutsche. I think that selling point would come when Deutsche is approximately 16 or 17, but at the same time I am little skeptical that Deutsche would be I would say 16 or 17 because of that reason, that if you look at this chart, then the last year November Deutsche was approximately $27 per share. Right, $28.6 per share, from where it has reduced from November till March due to huge amount of allegations on Deutsche Bank. It has reduced to what number, which is approximately 14.74. So from 28 till 15, the loss of $13, from where it has never recovered, and now it is approximately 13. If you are most welcome to term this as a flat also. Right, it could be flat also. So in that regards, we seriously need to see that how things would be. Now before winding up this video, let us take the few earnings of Deutsche Bank. Now in November they declared their earnings as EPS of 0.19 cents. This is absolutely brilliant, right? November 2015. So January 2016 they declared EPS of 1.14, which is little better. April they declared 0.18 because this was of yearly, and here they declared 0.23. So earning wise also Deutsche is not moving ahead, but few things which we need to consider with Deutsche is that Deutsche is an extreme case, and if Deutsche blow up, from where we can see that Deutsche is in a mess, there is no doubt about that. Like let us take a YTD chart here. Let us take the YTD chart here. It will take 1 minute to refresh. If we do the YTD chart, then we will get to know about from January till today, and you will get to know that Deutsche is all scheduled to act like another Lehman. And if this would happen, then things would be very much haywire for the banking system. So this was all about on Deutsche. And our personal opinion is that Deutsche would fall to $10. I don't think that German government is able to Germany is in a position politically and economically is in a position to save Deutsche, but at the same time we cannot discount the fact that Germany can take a huge amount of money from the market in the form of the loan, and they can give Deutsche to bail out. This is something that cannot be ruled out. If this would happen, then of course Deutsche would stay for some amount of time. But at the same time, we should not forget that a huge amount of allegations on the Deutsche Bank, that the allegations covering your mortgage frauds, your LIBOR frauds, interest rate rigging, and your mirror trading scandal, which is clearly an open I would say violence of open flaunts of anti-money laundering rule and lot of other things. This would create a little mess for Deutsche Bank. And in our personal view, that Deutsche would bust up soon, and if not this year, probably next year, because Deutsche needs to bust up because their capital adequacy ratio is getting down. And at the same time, we tend to disagree with the statement given on the Bloomberg TV and some other business channels that Deutsche is not having any balance sheet problem. I don't think that Deutsche I think that Deutsche do have a balance sheet problem, and one of the balance sheet problem is the upcoming contingent convertibles, which is on the head of the Deutsche. And at the same time, we strongly disagree with the thought that even if Deutsche gets saved, then we would be able to save the world economy. Considering the fact that European banking is in little mess, especially your so-called ING, your so-called Wells Fargo. So this is something for the day. Let us see how things it would be, but I think that Deutsche is facing balance sheet problem, and we are covering up a very dedicated video on that very soon. So let us see how things would go, but overall things would not be as easy for Deutsche and also for the regulator as it seems. Thank you very much, and this side Rahul. You know our contact details, which is treasuryconsultingllp@gmail.com, and you are welcome to connect with me at 9899242978. Hope to see you soon, and thank you, and have a great day ahead.